Okay, so another week, another episode in this What to Expect in 2018 series. Of course, you know by the title of this video that we're going to be covering IOTA. And it's funny how this has become one of the most controversial cryptocurrencies in the entire marketplace recently. But it's a currency that I've been invested in for a long time. I believe in its fundamentals, and so that's why I'm more than happy to keep making content around it. And so as we look into what 2018 has in store for IOTA, there are two announcements which I think are a very, very big deal. I'm very much looking forward to, and they're going to be coming in pretty much the near future, kind of first to second quarter of 2018. The first of which is the Trinity wallet, formerly known as the UCL wallet, because one of the guys making it is doing his master's thesis in University College London right now. But since then, the IOTA Foundation has kind of taken him under their wing. They've kind of absorbed that project, put in their manpower, money, resources into creating now what will hopefully be a very high quality finished product. And it promises to be a user-friendly, cross-platform, mobile wallet application which we'll all be able to use to safely and securely store our IOTA. At the moment, we're pretty much stuck with the official IOTA desktop wallet application, and it's had its fair share of problems, to say the least. Just like many of you guys, I've had problems with zero balance display. I've had a bunch of other, irritating problems around it as well. And so I very, very much welcome a new alternative wallet application there, especially one which I can actually store or access on my phone. I think that's a great move. As I've said in previous videos, I think all this FUD and all this drama around the IOTA wallet has caused an awful lot of people out there who would otherwise be very, very interested in this technology and would want to, invest and hold some. I think they've been prevented from doing so because of a fear of losing access to their funds or something along those lines. And so if this wallet delivers, if it succeeds, then hopefully it will go a very, very long way towards restoring some of that lost faith in IOTA as a project, and hopefully it'll invite many, many more people to get on board and to experiment with this new novel technology. So that's one of the two things that I'm very, very much looking forward to in the very near future. And then the other thing, of course, is Q. And I don't really know how to begin with this, but basically, if you don't have any idea what Q is at all, it's some kind of mystery project or announcement that's expected to be made now in the next couple weeks, probably, maybe months if it gets delayed. It's been mentioned by the co-founders and developers of IOTA among several blog posts, the official Slack page, the official Reddit page, and we, the regular people who aren't privy to that kind of inside information, we are left just kind of wondering and speculating about what this huge major announcement could possibly be. I've read into all kinds of crazy theories around GIN processors, quantum computers, AI, major banking partnerships, major partnerships with some of these key Internet of Things industry players, all kinds of stuff. And because I don't know for sure what that is myself, I don't want to add any fuel to any of those theories, just in case they're all completely wrong and we're completely off the mark. So I thought it'd be more useful and helpful to go directly towards what some of the co-founders of IOTA have actually said. So on one occasion, David Sonsterbo said, Q is one of the biggest, if not the biggest things to occur to the IOTA project. And then another co-founder from IOTA, Come From Beyond, said this, and this will really kind of prick your ears up as well. I'd like to assess numbers of those who can bet at least one BTC, one Bitcoin, on IOTA not surpassing Bitcoin Cash on CoinMarketCap within 24 hours of Q revelation. So what Come From Beyond is saying there is that he very, very much believes that whenever this Q revelation is made, the market cap of IOTA, which currently at today's price sits around about $5 billion, will immediately overtake the market cap of Bitcoin Cash, which again at current value is around $20 billion, which could represent at the moment at today's current prices a 4x increase within a 24-hour period, which as an IOTA investor myself, I would be very, very happy to see. So both the Q announcement and the Trinity wallet release are expected in the first quarter of 2018. Maybe we'll see some delays and they'll be postponed to the second quarter of 2018. But either way, I think both of those things are immensely exciting. And if Q can deliver on half the hype that it's built up over the past few months, then hopefully that would do wonders for both the adoption use cases and, for those investors as well, the price of IOTA in the next few months. Just those things in 2018 would be a really brilliant development for IOTA for the whole year. As for what else we can expect to see throughout the remainder of this year as well, I'd now like to divert your attention towards an article that was posted on the official IOTA website blog not too long ago. I think it was January the 1st. It's a post called 2017 in review, 2018 in preview, and obviously we'll skip all the 2017 stuff because that's been and gone now. We're not reflecting on that in this video. But here's some more of the other kinds of things that we can expect to see in 2018 as well. And so the first thing that's listed is foundation efforts. And if you didn't already know, in 2017, IOTA managed to establish itself as a non-profit foundation within Germany. And they mentioned that in 2017, the main problem that they had, or the main bottleneck that they had to deal with, was in relation to human resources and just a sheer lack of manpower with the skills and the ability to actually build on top of this distributed ledger technology. And so when it comes to 2018, they've said this: establishing proper structure and streamlined processes, as well as onboarding tens of new developers and other vital human resources, will be the #1 priority at the beginning of 2018 to meet this demand, and thus continue IOTA's adoption and goal of establishing it as the de facto DLT, again, distributed ledger technology, for the Industry 4.0 era. Of course, that's immensely exciting because the more people they have on board, the more skills they have, the quicker that we can see many of these major developments occur. And it's just good to know that they have a solid foundation now in Germany with adequate resources, adequate numbers of people with the skills, hopefully to deliver on everything that they want to build throughout 2018. So that gets a big thumbs up from me as an investor in this. And then with regards to development next, they say that in 2017, we have been conducting a lot of research on optimization of IOTA. 2018 is the year where these developments will be implemented, with the goal of reaching a production-ready state by the end of 2018. So that's a really big deal, make a note of that. And this is where I've got kind of bold written on my iPad as well now: begin the international standardization process together with the industry. And this sounds alarm bells ringing in my head now, because I think of network effects, and if they can become the standard technology that's used in this space, if they have, as what's described here again, standardization process together with the industry, then that can go a very long way towards solidifying some kind of network effect that will enable it to completely dominate and outpace its competition. There might be better, newer technologies coming out in the future with regards to this, but if IOTA gets a much better head start and has these kinds of partnerships and arrangements with key industry players in the space already, then it's going to be incredibly tough for any new competitors to compete with that, especially when you consider in a space like this, Internet of Things, there are physical products and physical devices that are being built. And with the hardware component, it adds a level of complexity to that. They also speak about new offices they'd like to open up in 2018. They talk about how in 2017, things were very much focused in Europe, and that in 2018, this changes, with them saying, in addition to our Berlin, Oslo, and Chicago offices, we already have 7 more local offices distributed across Earth in strategic regions planned. These will be established by the second quarter of 2018. And if you're just wondering to yourself, why is it so important to have all these offices dotted around the world, they actually have an explanation for that right underneath. They say, we consider it vital to have a local presence with people who can conduct face-to-face meetings on a whim and who has a natural understanding of the culture and ecosystems in their vicinity. That makes complete sense to me, so we'll move on. They also mention new exchanges, and if you've ever tried purchasing some IOTA for yourself, you'll know that you can only really get it in a handful of places right now, which can be annoying, especially if you already have preferences with certain exchanges, or if you don't trust the ones that deal with IOTA right now. And if you're wondering why that's been the case in the past, they explain that it's precisely because IOTA's protocol is such a giant leap forward from regular blockchain architecture, its integration with exchanges takes a bit longer, especially for the first movers. But here's where the good news comes in now, where they say, however, we are now happy to confirm that several large and small exchanges are done with our technical implementation of IOTA. From here on in, it is up to the respective parties as businesses to decide when and how they plan to unveil and launch IOTA on their platforms. But we expect most to do this in the very beginning of 2018. If you're immensely passionate about the technology itself, if you're a techno nerd, that might not be a big deal to you. But as far as speculators and investors in the space go, this will of course be welcome news, because the more exchanges that IOTA is available on, then chances are that there's going to be more potential customers there, more potential people to be exposed to IOTA and want to get some, either to speculate in the short term or to invest in as a long-term value proposition. They also mention ecosystem fund grant approvals to be released. And then at the very end of this article, David just types out the letters QQQQQQQQQ. This of course is another reference or teaser to the Q announcement, which I mentioned at the very start of this video. Again, it's just more kind of hyping it up, waiting for us to find out what this possibly could be. As someone who's personally invested in IOTA, the suspense of finding out what Q is pretty much killing me at this point. I just can't wait to find out either way. And I really do hope it lives up to the hype, because if it doesn't, there's going to be an awful lot of irritated IOTA investors out there. And I think Reddit in particular will probably be quite salty for a long time if things don't live up to that hype. But hopefully they will actually deliver on this, and it'll be everything that people hope it will be. And then that's pretty much all I have to say for this video now. It's worth mentioning that this was, or the article that I mentioned, was considered a preview of 2018 rather than a detailed roadmap. IOTA did post in the blog post a roadmap for 2017 that was very detailed. That came out in March of the year, I think. And so if the foundation does the same thing again this year in kind of March time, I'll be back here to do another one of these kinds of videos in a much more detailed manner. But until then, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on what's been revealed so far in this video, and what your prospects are for IOTA throughout the whole of 2018. Do you think it's going to be a great year? Do you think this is the year where potentially the market cap does actually overtake Bitcoin Cash? Do you consider that to be a real possibility? Or is this all just hype, and do you think the IOTA project is going to pretty much fail in 2018? I guess one thing that I would add that wasn't mentioned by the guys in that article is the importance of having some kind of hardware wallet compatibility this year. I know that for me personally, that's a huge deal. I'd love to be able to store my IOTA on my Ledger Nano S. And I know that for many people out there, they just don't feel comfortable buying, especially larger amounts of something like IOTA, if they don't have that option, if they don't have that ability to, and if they have to rely on either storing it on exchanges, which is always a terrible idea, or having to use a very awkward official desktop wallet, which people have a tough time dealing with. And so that would do enormous good for the overall security health of the community, and in terms of speculation or investing prices as well. But setting that aside, I think what I really hope to see from IOTA this year is some kind of work or partnerships and adoption with key industry players in this space, and solidifying some kind of network effect. That would be the ideal thing for me. That's what I really want to see from IOTA this year. Anyway, let me know any and all thoughts you have in the comment section down below. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll be back with more videos very soon now, so thank you. Cheers.